Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer, welcome back to Farming Simulator 17, and welcome back to the Western Shore. We're still, it's still the third day of winter. This is the day that we were on the last time we worked on this farm. Show you what's going on. I did get manure down in our three new fields, which is 62, 55, and 64. Right, so those are all fertilized. 6.4, you can see, has 2 layers of fert, and that's because our hard fertilizer mod did kick in, and when we plowed this after we threw the manure, we did get that second layer as a buff. And then you can see here when we go to needs plowing, all 3 of these fields have been plowed as well. Just got done with the last one in the T-dub, now T-dub 35, so we're going to drop off our plow. We're going to head over to the next field in line. Get this turned back on. There it is. We're going to head over to our next field and grab the cultivator that we got. I had planned on using that on the JCB, but we're going to switch it up a little bit and work with the T-dub on these fields, and we've got other plans for the JCB. So, as far as what is going on with this map, I'm really enjoying working through the winter, and I'm really glad I got the tip to try that. We're going to take a chance here. All right, here we go. I'm really glad I got that tip, and this is, it's added, I don't want to say it's like added another dimension to it, it's that overstates it, but I did not think there were this many things to do to stay busy during the winter. I normally prep fields in the spring, or I prep them in the fall after harvest, and there really is, in the past, there has really been nothing for me to do in the winter. So I'm glad that I've got this new way of doing things, although it's probably added, I don't know, 20 hours, 25 hours to 1 year as far as the save game is concerned. In other words, to go from the first day of spring to the first day of spring is probably now going to take an additional 20 hours because we're working during the winter. But I don't mind, right? It's a farm sim. What else would you do on farm sim but farm? So I'm glad I got that tip, and it's given me another layer of the game, and I always appreciate that. Now, I think right over here there is a little area, yeah, where we can drop this if it will fit, and I don't think it will. I don't think it will. So, now what? All right, well, we got to get rid of it. So let's just set it up against the shed here, if we can 3-point turn our way through this process. Like that. Right, like so. All right, and I will sort that out later and find a better home for it. I thought I could put it under that awning right there, but I didn't calculate how wide those slots were. So, right, and I'm trying to think what else is going on. I've been selling milk, been taking care of the cows, been taking care of the sheep. Everything is coming together for winter. I do want to, and we'll probably do this next episode, I do want to begin spreading our digestate and slurry on grass fields, and I would like to have all that done by the last day of winter, just in case grass starts growing on the first day of spring, right? In other words, if it transitions from purple harvested to green growing, or even to the lighter orange, and there's a possibility that we could be, I don't want to lose a possibility of fertilizing. I don't want to lose an opportunity to fertilize by waiting too long. So I think we should have as much fert down, digestate and slurry, on the last day of winter, and hopefully we can get 3 fully fertilized cuts this year. I don't know if we'll ever get 4, but I think we can definitely get 3, and I'd like them to have all the layers of fertilizer and give us maximum yield. So, right, this is our next field we're going to work on, and I know this is okay, but let's take a peek just in case. If we go here and we go to our garage, pardon me while I tap. If we go over to this thing right here, 175 horsepower, and our T-dub is now 185 since we traded up to the T-dub 35, so we should be okay. Man, more realistic. I'll tell you what. It's when you start modding, when a modder begins making mods for a game, they are at that point a de facto game developer. so. And when you're in game development, there are certain rules that you have to play by. There really are. And one of those rules is when you're going to make something challenging, when you're going to create a problem for a player, you also need to do two things. You need to offer them an opportunity to see it coming and a way for them to solve that problem, either before it happens or after it happens. Right. This is field 5-5. And so we want to go here. Field work. We are on field work. Let's just confirm. Yep, field work. Field 5-5. Is this thing 5 meter? Yeah, that seems about right. Starting location right here. We'll go 2 headlands after. Generate a course. We can turn this off, but we do need to see where it starts, and it is up the top of the hill, as always. Perfect. The reason you have to do those two things is a player needs to understand, they need to feel and believe that they have a chance, and the game is based on skill rather than chance or just blind luck. And there can be elements of chance in a game, but they need to be under specific circumstances where a player understands, okay, when I go into this area or when I do this thing, I'm now exposing myself to a chance element, but I'm prepared for that. Right? That's the main thing, is a game developer needs to make clear to a player the rules of the game. And there are some mods that aren't exactly clear or consistent. And I feel like that comes back around to the responsibility of a game developer. And in this case, a modder, as I said, takes on the role of a game developer, and they have to make the rules clear to us, and then we all need to play by the same rules. And when that is not the case, games can be very frustrating because you're not really sure what's happening or why, and you're not sure what you can do about it. And that makes for a very frustrating game. So I have had some, I'm not going to be specific, but I've had some frustrating mods that I've been trying to figure out. And as they, yeah, we got that creep. Just set the brake and avoid that. First waypoint, everything is good. Speeds are good. Everything is good. Let's take the brake off and get to work. There we go. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. And see how this thing works with its MR XML installed. That's a very stately animation. I love it. That seems like about the real speed for a tool like that to unfold. And is that... Let's double check after we get rolling here. Because we're set for 5 meter. But that looks closer to 6. So we'll go back to the garage. And tap over here. And we are 5 meter. Okay. So we are good to go. And we'll let T-Dub work. In the meantime, let's get back to the farm. Hop in the JCB and head down to the compost master. While I'm walking, I can tell you what happened with the Abbey spreader that we were using last week. I did download it again. It is available on the Giants mod hub, so it's coming directly from Giants. It's a legit mod. And I also went back to the MR XML database and downloaded that file again, combined the two, brought it back in game. It worked until we drove into a field. And as soon as there were 2 wheels on a plowed surface and 2 wheels on the grass verge, those 2 wheels locked and would not unlock. Even if I restarted the game, those 2 wheels remained locked and were clipping through the pavement. So I feel like something gets, maybe not corrupted, but something happens with that mod and it made it unusable. So I did get rid of it. I got a different manure spreader, or at least a different manure spreader. It's down at the compost master. It is full. We're going to go pick that up and sort of pick up where we went off the rails last episode as far as getting compost up there. We're going to head up into one of our converted fields, spread that compost, and then I think that will be nearly the end of the episode, if not the end of the episode. So that's what we got planned today. And so we've got our 3 new fields that we bought have all had manure spread on them. They've all been plowed. They're all going to be cultivated. And then our 2 fields that we converted, I will today a little bit on camera and then off camera finish up getting compost spread on these fields. And I will also cultivate these off camera. And the next episode we'll pick up with starting to spray some of our digestate, of which we have a ton. I'm glad that I remembered the Compost Master. First off, because we had 75, almost 80,000 liters of fertilizer down here. But also because we can use this summer. This coming summer, as we have our grass coming in, we can take as much of it as we want down to the BGA. Trying to drive carefully here. And that is, what did we say, about 200,000 euro, 200,000 pounds per cut, if it all goes in the BGA. And then the rest can be used for bales, both hay and silage, for the cows, for the sheep, and then a portion of it can also come out here to the Compost Master. Now, we do get, when we take grass down to the BGA, we get money for it, and we get digestate. When we bring grass out to the Compost Master, all we get from it is fertilizer. We don't get that money. And you know I like that money. So, carefully. The reason this is happening, off topic, the reason this is happening is the left stick on this new gamepad that I'm on is very, very stiff. The center hold on it is extremely stiff. It's like it drops into a divot. And so to get it out of that center spring, I have to push it very hard, and then it kind of snaps all at once. And it's not that it goes over like all the way to the side or anything. It just moves further than I want it to when it sort of pops free. And I'm used to that razor that I was on, where I swear the thumbsticks felt like they were on ceramic ball bearings. So that is why you see me like, why not just turn back into the road? Well, because if I were to turn back in, I would turn more than I wanted to. So that is the reason for my caution. What was I talking about? The Compost Master, yeah. If we take grass to the BGA, we get money and fertilizer. If we take grass to the Compost Master, all we get is fertilizer. So, but we'll figure that out as we get further and further into spring and what we want to do. We've still got plenty of food for the animals, so I think all of first cut will go to either the BGA or the Compost Master, whichever. And then second cut, we'll see where we are on food. It can either go for food or down to the BGA or whatever, and then same for third cut. But I think as slowly as we're going through food, we'll certainly last until we're able to make more. We won't have to buy any. But we may also, I mean, we'll do a count as we get into, say, midsummer. And if we don't make food second cut, and we make it all the way to third cut, we can take a look, and we may forego that as well. Because keep in mind, if we have a little bit of food left when we get to third cut, and then we take all of third cut down to the BGA, if we were to run out of food due to more animals being born or miscalculation on my part or whatever, if we've made 600,000 pounds from the BGA over the summer, we can certainly just buy some bales to get us through till next cut. So, options. Right. Carefully turn in here. Right, like so. And as we were trying to do last time, what I'll do is drive on the verge up to the top of the field and then start downhill, because I believe when we activate this sprayer, when we turn it on, spreader, I guess is a better name for it. When we activate this spreader, it's going to draw enough power that I don't think we could go uphill. And I guess we could have spread this lower length here as we came across, but I don't know. Habits. I got habits. They're not always good habits. I'm just used to driving to the top of the field now. All right. See if we can make it up this fall line. Slowly. Carefully. We still got headway. I mean, we're going slow, but we are moving. Yeah, I've noticed with more realistic, the mod really doesn't like it when you have two wheels on one surface and two wheels on another surface. In this case, two wheels on the grass verge and two wheels on the plowed field. That seems to, either by design or just by necessity, that seems to really throw it into a tizzy. And that's where I felt like I was getting stuck a lot with the T-dub when I was plowing. is when I would come back over an area where two wheels were on an area that had not been plowed yet, essentially smooth, and two wheels were dropped off into the plowed area. If you can stay up on top of an area that is not plowed, everything's fine. If you're in an area that is completely plowed, that's okay too. It's just when you split the difference. What I noticed on course play was, let me get zoomed out a little bit here so we can see where our throw is. What I noticed on course play is the tractor would begin to slide, and as it was sliding, it would crab and throw the tool either to the left or to the right of where it was meant to be. So then on the next pass, the tractor was inevitably two wheels on the unplowed surface, two wheels on the plowed surface. I hope I explained that properly. So it was, in a way, compounding its own misery by continuing to create an area that it would drive in either next length or next headland, where it could not all be on one surface, could not have all four tires on one surface. So eventually I found a rhythm, but it was tricky for a minute. Very tricky. All right, and I noticed that the consumption seems to be reduced compared to base game 17. So I'm grateful for that, and it looks like, because we had, what, 19,000 liters in here? I don't know how far 19,000 liters of compost would go, or manure for that matter. I don't know how far it would go in a field this size, but I have to think further than it has in the past in 17. So I don't know if that's coming from more realistic, but wherever it's coming from, I'll take it. All right. And then we'll just head right back up this fall line. I think it should be a bit easier this time. God, look at that texture. Oh, that is rich. Full of nutrients. Delicious black soil. I would think that we'll make it up this fall line a little quicker this time because we've got less weight in here. Yeah, about a quarter less weight. Okay. Let's see how we do. Yeah, we had to give up on the gearbox add-on. Sorry, I spaced out for a minute. We had to give up on that. I felt bad about that, but you know, you got to do what you got to do. I did not want to give up on more realistic, so I'm glad that things are working the way they are. And this feels, this isn't frustrating. I mean, we're moving slowly, but we're moving steadily. You know, it feels like everything is as it should be. So we'll make another pass down the hill here. And I don't know, I mean, we've got, what, 29,000 liters of compost back there in the corner. I don't know that we're even going to need it all. We can take it back to the compost master and dump it in that pile, but yeah, I think maybe we might be able to finish this entire field just with what we have in here. Possibly. Alright. So we'll go get this little bit over here. So back this up. Now, here's a question for real farmers. I know obviously you can have too much chemical fertilizer. You can scorch plants pretty easily that way. But when it comes to things like manure, and particularly compost, because compost is what? It's just soil, really. Or proto-soil. Pre-soil. Can you have too much of it? Can you go over an area too many times? I don't know. Manure, maybe. Maybe. Because that's, I mean, manure is chemistry. It's organic, but it is chemistry. I think compost is more or less just really, really good topsoil. I'm curious about that, because we're going to go over some areas. We will have some overlap. So hopefully we're not doing anything that's going to cause damage to our little plants when we get them in here. Right. So that is 2. Yeah, I think we're going to finish this field just with what we have in here. All right. Well, then we'll need to figure out with it what to do with everything that we've got in those piles on the field. I don't think we'll even need those. Okay. fine. 20 minutes. This might just work out. It might just. All right. Yeah, I'm okay with this. Heading back up the field like this. I know it is slow, but it just feels right. It feels appropriate. No complaints there. All right. And I think slow down a little bit. And I think now you can drive on this field has been plowed. So that what? Or it's been subsoiled. We broke up the hard pan, so we're good there. And then it is going to be cultivated. So it's okay if we drive on this a little bit. We're not going to get terrible compaction. And it does have one more, we're going to loosen the soil one more time. So if we do have some compaction, we're going to sort that out again. So yeah, I think we can drive on areas that we've already sprayed with compost. Yeah. Yep. We're going to get this entire field with one fill. Okay. No complaints. No complaints. Here we go. Here. Let's do this. Let's go around this way. So we can start from a different angle. It's too bad there's no mod that can keep a little bit of this color in the soil. Right? It just looks so... God, it looks like that... Looks like that good black potting soil you get at the garden center in the spring. And like, I mean, like in real life, when you're planting your little plants in the spring in your garden. Right. There is. There's that. Let's head back up top. We'll drive back down the fall line from the other direction, and I think that's us done with this field. Okay, I'll do the other one off camera, and I'll get everything cultivated. Next episode, we'll have that sprayer out. Get some of our digestate applied. And we did determine there is no place on the map to sell compost. So we can, I don't know what we'll do with this. We'll take it back to the compost master, or we'll put it in a pile somewhere, a heap. I don't know. We'll find someplace for it. All right. So now right down here. I think carefully. I think that's us done. And I will. You want to do them right now? How's your OCD? Mine is pretty good lately. But let's take care of those. Let's take care of those areas just the same. And we do have just a little bit. We got about 2,700 liters left in here, so. No reason not to. And I guess we needed to loop around again to pass through the hedge back into that other field. So it all came together. It all worked out. All right. Get these last two areas. And this one. All right. There you have it. All right. Right there. Drop that down. Set the brake, and we're done. There you have it, folks. Thanks for stopping back to check out The Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Farming Simulator 17. This is the Western Shore. We'll see you next time. Take care now.